Detectives believe Michael was murdered around 5 a.m. this morning.
Here he was at the bar. He had a Absolute and a Foster's.
Anytime that you start a homicide investigation, what you're trying to do is put together where the person was.
And then he bought a lotto ticket.
By backtracking, you're able to try and hopefully determine what he was doing or what led up to his death.
Okay, when he checked in, he was very talkative, very nice. He introduced himself. He's like, I'm Mike Prince, you know, nice to meet you.
According to the night clerk, Michael arrived alone at 5 p.m. the previous day.
When he checked in, he went up for about an hour and came back down.
And he went to the bar? Mm-hmm. And he was still by himself? Mm-hmm. He did have money with him, cash?
Oh, yes. He had big bills. He was very eager to spend the money. He was wanting to tip me for checking him in, and I'm like, no, you know, I don't need a tip.
They learned Michael lived in Phoenix, not far from the hotel.
He's got a local address here, so you know, we need to look into why he's renting a hotel room in downtown Phoenix.
This is the address that he had listed when he filled out the motel application. We're going to go see if they know him and if he's still living here, you know, who he lives with and things like that.
According to the apartment manager, Michael was being evicted, which may explain why he checked into the hotel. 4 hours into the case, Polk makes a startling discovery.
I looked inside through the window, and it looks like it's been ransacked. We may want to consider doing a search warrant on the victim's apartment.
In San Antonio, Texas, Detective Tim Angel and his team have not made much headway in their investigation of an unknown man found murdered in a creek. Without the victim's ID, Angel has nothing to go on. With only a few hours of sleep, Angel jumps right back into the investigation.
I'm not tired of following this guy. I grew up in a little town in Minnesota. I had wild teenage years. I had a fast car and always wanted to race people. I've always been very competitive. Gas grass our ass right next to the Virgin Mary. He gave us the one-finger salute. I think he wants to race. I hate to lose, and I hate the thought that somebody's getting away with murder. To me, that's losing.
At headquarters, Sergeant Andy Hernandez continues their effort to identify the victim through his prints, this time through a statewide database.
We weren't able to get a hit last night on our system. What we're going to do now is try to over at DPS and see if we can run it through them. Of course, they have a much larger database, and it may be that our guy just wasn't in our system. Well, this guy was in water at least a day.
It's going to our database of about, I guess, 350,000 prints.
And that's a hit.
We entered. Hit.
And this is the guy, huh? Juan Trujillo. Good news, buddy.
Juan F. Trujillo. Let's see if I can bring a picture up. That's what he looked like, I guess, before he went in the water. No, I'd have never made that idea from looking at him. One of the first things we have an obligation to do is notify his next of kin.
Angel and his partner, Stacy Sullivan, head to the victim's brother's house.
You Miss Trujillo? I'm Detective Angel. This is Detective Sullivan. Can we come in and talk to you?
Ms. Trujillo is the victim's sister-in-law.
We just saw him on the 31st because it was our
Why don't you sit down?
And this is his picture, see? That's when he was younger, that's in 76.
That's what he looked like in 1976?
Yeah.
We're investigating it as a homicide, ma'am. We think somebody killed him. And we're trying to figure out why, who would do such a thing. Do you know anybody that had any problems with him? Anybody he had problems with?
We hadn't kept in touch with him for a long time until recently.
She's not broken up, as I have seen